Hey Gossip Girl fans, can you answer all 25 of these questions about Serena Woodsen from Gossip Girl? Only diehard fans actually can. Serena described the boyfriend she dated at the end of her freshman year. Who was he? The captain of the lacrosse team? The captain of the swim team? The captain of the basketball team? Or the captain of the soccer team? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena admitted she dated the captain of the swim team, which is how she got keys to the school pool for a wild pool party. What was Serena's drug of choice before she turned over a new leaf? Cocaine, Molly, shrooms, or Xanax? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena was down to snort tons of cocaine during her party days. How old was Serena when she finally returned to New York City from her stint in boarding school? 15, 16, 17, or 18? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena was 16 years old when the events of Gossip Girl first began, and the show started with her return from boarding school. How many brothers does Serena technically have by the finale of Gossip Girl? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena technically has 3 brothers by the finale. Eric Woodsen as her biological brother, Chuck Bass as her adoptive brother, and Scott Rawson as her half-brother. Serena started an affair with a married man. What was his professional job title? Doctor, professor, chef, or politician? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena had no business dating Trip Vanderbilt because he was a married politician. How is Serena related to Lola Rhodes? Her half-sister, her cousin, her half-sister cousin, or her niece? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena and Lola share the same father. Lola's mother is also Serena's aunt, and Serena's mother is Lola's aunt, making them half-sister cousins. Serena dated a photographer who displayed her photos throughout Times Square. Who was he? Antonio Rose, Alex Rose, Aaron Rose, or Abel Rose? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Aaron was the charming photographer who loved snapping pics of Serena until their inevitable breakup, since he was the non-committal type. What motivated Serena's return from boarding school? Eric's self-unaliving attempt. Serena was failing out. Lily desperately missed her. Or because Blair waged war against her. Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. When Serena found out Eric tried to end his own life, she returned home right away. Serena dated one of her college professors at Columbia. Who was he? Cameron Forrester, Corey Forrester, Colin Forrester, or Cleo Forrester? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena and Colin Forrester dated even though he was her professor. The power dynamic was problematic for sure. When Serena was partying with Georgina back in the day, they pretended to be alter egos with what names? Aaliyah and Alara, Svetlana and Savannah, Delilah and Dolores, or Winnie and Winona? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Georgina and Serena would pretend they were Svetlana and Savannah whenever guys would try hitting on them. Serena dated a con man who swindled wealthy Upper East Siders. Who was he? Gunnar Edwards, Gavin Edwards, Grayson Edwards, or Gabriel Edwards? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena's relationship with Gabriel Edwards proved that she was lacking serious discernment. Serena took Nate's virginity while they were both drunk behind Blair's back. It went down on a hotel bar at the Shepherd wedding. Who was a witness? Chuck Bass, Penelope Shafai, Nellie Yuki, or no one? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Chuck admitted that he saw Serena and Nate hooking up that night from an upper angle. Serena dated an older man with a daughter who was almost the same age as her. Who was he? Samuel Spence, Spencer Spence, Stephen Spence, or Stanley Spence? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena's relationship with Stephen was bizarre since she wasn't ready to take on a stepmother role. What name did Dan Humphrey use for Serena's character persona in his book Inside? Was it Selena, Satina, Sabrina, or Savina? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Dan's novel about the Upper East Side was scathing, and he didn't hold back with his criticisms of Serena, who he referred to as Sabrina in each chapter. Serena had a short-lived fling with Ivy Dickens' ex-boyfriend. Who was he? Martin Harding, Max Harding, Matthew Harding, or Mason Harding? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena and Max Harding liked each other, but it didn't evolve to become anything serious. Serena was caught purchasing a pregnancy test, and it was publicized in a Gossip Girl blast. Who was she buying the pregnancy test for? Herself, Lily Woodsen, Blair Waldorf, or Jenny Humphrey? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Serena was buying the test for Blair, who was nervous after sleeping with both Chuck and Nate in the same week. Serena tried to slyly film herself hooking up with someone for manipulation purposes. Who did she do that to? Dan Humphrey, Nate Archibald, Carter Bazin, or Trip Vanderbilt? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena wanted to make Blair jealous, so she tried to record herself hooking up with Dan. But Dan caught her in the act and called her out for it. Which university did Serena drop out of at the last minute? Harvard, Yale, Cornell, or Brown? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena wasn't interested in attending Brown, even though Lily really wanted her to move forward there. She dropped out last minute after initially enrolling in classes. Someone spread a rumor about Serena having an STD. Who sent that Gossip Girl blast? Blair Waldorf, Juliet Sharp, Bree Buckley, or Vanessa Abrams? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Juliet wanted to destroy Serena's reputation, so she went for the jugular, telling Nate and Dan they should get tested for STDs after sleeping with Serena. Which job title does Serena land in Los Angeles? Hand model, voice actress, audio technician, or production assistant? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena got hired as a production assistant during her time in Hollywood. One of Serena's ex-boyfriends had a short-lived fling with her mother, Lily. Which one? Carter Bazin, Trip Vanderbilt, Stephen Spence, or Ben Donovan? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Stephen Spence is the guy who had a sexual history with Lily before linking up with Serena. Weird. Who was Serena trying to get attention from when she started doing wild things in front of the paparazzi? Was it Lily Woodsen, Dan Humphrey, Carter Bazin, or William Woodsen? Pause here until you have your answer, then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena desperately wanted attention from William because she had severe daddy issues and abandonment issues. Georgina Sparks tried to blackmail Serena with a secret. Which of the following secrets about Serena was actually real on Gossip Girl? Serena's eating disorder, Serena's involvement in Pete Fairman's overdose, Serena's threesome at boarding school, or Serena's abortion from freshman year? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. The only secret that really applied to Serena was her involvement in Pete's overdose, even though it wasn't even actually her fault that he died. Where did Serena first meet Damien Dalgard? Ivy League mixer, boarding school, Chuck's Victrola celebration, or Lily and Bart's wedding? Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Serena and Damien first met while they were attending boarding school together, way before he started dating Jenny Humphrey. Why did Serena end up in the Ostroff Center years after her younger brother Eric was admitted? She partied too hard with Georgina. She was arrested for a DUI. Juliet drugged her. Or she threatened to unalive herself. Pause here until you have your answer. Then press play when you think you've got it. Answer. Juliet drugged Serena as part of her revenge plot. Serena didn't willingly do any of those drugs by herself. How many of these questions about Serena did you get 100% right? Let us know in the comment section.